So I started building a computer apparently. I have a power supply and a clock. I'll restart that one again. It's got a power on reset on the timer. So the little, that's the output of the reset. That's on wait state there, reset. I got a 555 timer. There's a variable clock. I can select different capacitors from 10 picofarad to 100 micro. Select the range of the clock. I got a 240, I think the 4040, 4040 12-bit binary counters. That's just for show, not really an output. I can select between the clock, oscillator clock, and manual clock. That clock there is going to be broken out to other board. I've got the push button reset as well. Goes through the same delay circuit as a power on reset. So I'll be breaking out the clock output and the reset output to other board. So that's supplied with a 12 volt. That's just latching relay, 5 volt regulator. Just running that at one single board there. And then we have relay based input registers. The bottom 9 relays form a 8-bit register with a reset, and the top 7 relays they form 3 pairs of selectable output, a bit like a flip-flop. I'll explain it on the diagram, it'll make more sense. And I have a ribbon cable going to little input board. So we've got our 8 bits in the register. So what I set on the board there is going to be set on those bottom relays, and the reset is the first relay, clears the register. So if I set a number in there, I can clear it. And then when it's going to be connected to other circuitry, I can transfer or output the value of that register on a bus. So that hasn't been connected yet. So reset that. And then we have 3 pairs of selectable output. Those 2 buttons form one pair, those 2 buttons form another one, and those 2 buttons form the 3rd pair, and that's a reset. And the way it works is that I can select between 2 relay. It's either one or the other. And then when I reset, which is what the first relay is doing, it clears all 6 of the relays, so it defaults to no output. And then I can select left or right. So that could be used to select where in the computer the data gets sent. So or other functions. For example, that could be selecting whether it's sent to a address register or data register. Could have another one selecting between automatic increment of the address every time you send a data, a byte of data, or stay on the same address and then you have to increment the address manually. I don't know. I'm not sure what which register is going to do yet. I'm just making it up as I go. So that's data register, 8-bit and reset, and then selectable register with a reset. The first one there has a bit of an issue. It's supposed to reset to a clear condition, and neither of the two output on, but sometime it resets to one of the relay gets set. So I'll have to fix that little part of the circuit. So the way it works, we have two parts. So we have the data register, which is relatively simple. Each data bit is formed by one relay. So I've got a 12-volt supply going through the coil of the relay. When the relay gets powered through the momentary switch that's on the input keyboard, it'll close the connection, which means that the 12 volt can flow through the coil, through the connection, and out to 0 volts. So it means that every time the relay gets energized, it'll close the connection and latch. So that's repeated 8 times, and all the common goes through the first relay, which is the reset relay. At the rest state, all those common go through the normally closed contact, so that means the current can flow through each of the relay out to 0. When you energize the reset relay, it'll break that connection, which means all the data that is latched in the other 8 relay will be lost, because the contact will open. Then you can input new data. So I have a little LED on each of the relays, so it means that I can see what data is latched. So as you can see, for example, the last one, data stays latched in there. Same, it works the same as the coils. 12 volt can go through the LED, through the contact and back to 0, and when you reset, it'll get cleared at the same time. And I have another LED part through the keypad. 12 volt runs through the LED, back to the relay, through the contact and out to ground. So that data is repeated on the keypad as well. So that's the simple side. The selectable latch, I don't know what to call them exactly. Those are formed by 2 relays, which coils are put in series. So that means that I have 12 volt coming through one coil, 2 coils, 2 relays, and back to ground. Same as data latch, I have a reset which can break the common ground and reset all the relays. So what happens is that those are 2 12 volt relays. When you put 12 volt across 2 relays, they'll both see only 6 volt. 6 volt is not enough for the relay to actuate. but once you activate the relay, 6 volt is going to be enough for the relay to hold. Usually relays can hold the magnetic electromagnet with a third to a half of the nominal voltage. So that means that once you activate a relay, there is enough current running through it for it to keep its position. So if you set that relay, it'll keep that position. If you set the other one, it'll keep its position. If both were set, they would both keep the position as well. But the circuit isn't made for them to both be set, because the way it works is I have a tap between the two relays, which goes to the keypad, and I can either connect that tap to the 12 volt, which means that 12 volt will come through here, through that right relay, energize this one, close the contact, and when I release the button, 12 volt is still flowing through both relays, holding this one in position. If I press the button that connects through ground, 12 volt can run through the top relay to ground and energize this relay. But what happens is that since this path is lower resistance, this relay will not be energized anymore and will release its contact. Same as when this one is set and I press this button, sends 12 volts through here. 12 volt is on each side of the relay, so this relay is de-energized and this one is energized again. And then I have for each relay an LED powered through 12 volt going through the contact of the relay and down to common ground that indicates what position the relay is in. The issue I have with the one that sometimes resets in a closed state is that those two relays actually have enough with about 6 volt to energize. I did try to put a resistance in series to drop the voltage so that the coil only see a smaller fraction than half of the voltage, but apparently the resistance isn't quite enough, so I'll have to increase it a little bit so that when it resets, there's not enough current running through to energize the coils. So that's what I have at the moment. Input data register with a reset, and then a set of latches and a clock with a power on and button reset. I don't know what's next.